Hey guys, it's Ginny, VSGinny. I usually come to you on Friday nights, but it's Saturday morning this time. Friday night was a very busy night for us, and this morning we're on our way to go do our taxes, so yay for that. You'll see I am in a car, but I'm not driving. Hubby's driving. So you don't have to worry about that. Let's see, last week I was 406.8 pounds. This week I'm 406.4 pounds, so a loss of 0.4 pounds. I was sort of expecting it to be a small loss given that I lost 8 pounds last week, so not at all surprised by that. I'm sure it'll move even more next week. And I started at 600 pounds, surgery weight was 488.2, and I'm down a total of 193.6 pounds this week. Like total this week, not just this week, that would be crazy. Let's see. I really am going to keep it short since there really wasn't a lot going on food-wise this week or eating-wise. Things have been pretty much the same. And you know, since we're in the car, I don't want to annoy hubby too much talking the whole time. So, but I did want to quickly talk about carbs. I was going to talk about it last week, and then my video ended up being so long, I postponed it to this week. So, carbs. And no, this has nothing to do with the discussion Betty Lou Who and I had on her Facebook page. As you guys know, I limit carbs. Generally, total carbs is what I count. That's what I've been counting since day one. I have a very dear friend, who, actually a group of friends, who basically say that net carbs are kind of voodoo math. So, and I would rather err on the side of caution, so I count total carbs. I don't. Some people believe that you shouldn't count carbs that come from dietary fiber or sugar alcohols because they don't act on your body in the same way. But it's too hard to know individual to individual exactly how they're going to act on your body. So counting total carbs kind of gives you, worst case scenario. And like I said, I'd rather err on the side of caution. So that's what I've been doing, or that's what I thought I'd been doing. But recently hubby and I bought some ice cream that was like low carb, low fat, basically, not too terrible for you. We had like a real ice cream sweet tooth and wanted something that wasn't too terrible. So we picked some up and we were looking at the label, and he's like, wait, I don't understand this label because there's total carbs and then under that there's dietary fiber and there's sugar alcohols, but that adds up to more than what's on the carbs line. So how is that possible? Well, in the US, when it says total carbs, under that you have kind of a subset that includes it includes sugar alcohols and dietary fiber. So if you add all those things up plus anything else that's in the carb category, that's your total carbs. But in Australia, you have your carb line, and then under that you have dietary fiber and sugar alcohols, and that is not counted in the carb line. So basically, Australians count net carbs with their like labeling system. So if you're a net carb counter, this would for sure make it easier, but for total carb counters, that's making it a lot harder. So I actually have to go back in and add all that stuff in, which I just realized this recently, and I don't know how with all my research I missed this, but I did. So what I realized I've been doing is counting total carbs, like in like MyFitnessPal, it's like primarily US users, but also Aussie users. And we eat both Aussie specific products and products that are sold in both places. Like naturally, I mean, if you're logging an apple, let's say a Red Delicious apple, it's going to be pretty much the same between the US and Australia. Only now I've realized that in like MyFitnessPal, you can't tell where the person who is logging something is from. So this actually goes for you, like US users too. So if you're eating a product that's sold in Australia and an Australian user logs the like notates the carbs from the package, it's going to be net carbs and you're not going to have any idea. So I think this is like a huge, I mean, especially for people like us who are, you know, who have lived both places and are eating products found both places. It's very confusing. So I would just encourage you. I'm sure most people like me already look at multiple listings for certain items, for like most items, because as you know, I mean, most of MyFitnessPal's database is like user generated, and so human error, it's not perfect. So I usually go in and look at more than one thing, and then also if I have the like product packaging, I'll like look at that and make sure it's correct and all that. But yeah, definitely do that in relation to carbs, because if you have an Aussie that logged it before you, you're looking at net carbs, not total carbs. So anyway, very confusing, but yeah, it was kind of a wake-up call for me. So I've been eating more carbs than I really realized, and I'm still losing just fine. So I think I'm going to stick with my faulty system for now. My faulty system that gives me net carbs for Aussie products and total carbs for US products. But if my weight loss starts stalling again, I'll just go back in and start being more like diligent about Aussie carbs. And that's going to be hard for me because I'm literally going to have to re-enter the nutrition info for every Aussie specific product, which would just be, I mean, that would just be incredibly time consuming for me. So I may not even do that. I may just decide to do net carbs instead and take my net carb count down, like my allowance down for every day, to reflect the fact that I'm looking at net carbs now instead of total. So anyway, best laid plans of mice and men, right? So anyhow, I hope you guys have had a good week. There was somebody I wanted to give a shout out to. See, this is what happens when I don't have my notes. Oh, shout out to Lizzie for winning her storytelling competition. I think that's awesome. I'm so proud of you. You are amazing. So anyway, everybody else have a really good week, and I'll see you next week. I love you guys. Bye.